Okay, we're on. Welcome everybody to Hold My Beer Sports. I'm your host, Matt Scalzo, and it has been some time before since the last time we did this. And last time we did do this, we started off with at NCAA tournament time. So that is what we're going to do today. But we're going to take a little different approach to it, have a little more fun. I mean, chickens and stuff pick winners of this stuff. So, I mean, it's not going to be very scientific, but hopefully it'll add some fun to your selection process. I'm here with my partner, Masshole Marty, who is not just a basketball guru, multi sport athlete from Georgetown High School in Georgetown, Mass, and also some East Coast representation here. So, um, we're glad everyone is back listening to us, and we're just going to start off by going through. Uh, so, for the NCAA tournament, where are you watching it? Is this going to be a bar? Is it just a man cave? Um, you can respond to that.
Yeah, that's good.
Bar is good,
Bar's always good.
and then what's going to be your drink of choice? A lot of people go with this high end bourbon or tequila. Everyone's fancy these days, and
As we get older, we start earlier. Coors Light, early and often and always.
yes,
Coors Light,
beer,
Silver Bullet,
beer, Coors Light.
or the
Okay,
beer if you or the beer of your choice.
don't get it complicated, and
Yes.
don't be a fancy guy. Just drink beer. Okay. So bar and beer. So that's a good start. That's a good start. So going into this tournament, we do have a couple rules that we like to use. If you want to win your bracket, stick to these, and I think you're going to have a really good chance. Number one, mostly, is take the chalk. Okay. Um, Bet on good teams to go far. As much as we all love the upset, um, there really are no more upsets anymore because of NIL and the portal. That's kind of taken that away a little bit, but um, pretty much you're trying to keep your Final Four and your national championship pick alive as long as possible if you want to win your pool. And so take the good teams, okay? And I know I'm going to get some smart ass that tells me that a 16 beat a 1 time. Don't do that unless like you maybe actually graduated from the school or are a big donor or I don't know what reason even if I went to the school I wouldn't do it. So um obviously my school's not
Yeah,
even in it,
that's
so
us. We don't have that problem this
we
year.
don't have that problem this year. Um, so take the chalk, no 16 seeds, right? Pretty obvious. Yeah, 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 yeah. You know what? Here's some fun ones this year. I would take a look at the brackets and pick your favorite saint. We have four saints. We have Mount St. Mary's, we have St. Mary's, we have St. Francis, who has one of the best mascots in the nation, Frankie the Friar, the Red Flash. And then of course your St. John's Red Storm, number 2 seed. Yeah, obvious pick. It should be, but if you just want to have a little fun, and you're feeling a little spiritual, pick your favorite saint.
I want to know how Frankie the Friar earned his nickname Red Flash. He must be quick.
Well, I think they are the Red Flash, and the mascot that represents the Red
Oh.
Flash is Frankie the Friar. But you're right. I don't know how a friar is red or flashy at all. But just Google it. Just Google the image. It's good.
It's an interesting
Which leads into my next point. When in doubt, pick the better mascot because that's just a lot more fun, right?
There's a lot of bulldogs in this tournament.
There's a lot, yeah, but bulldogs are kind of boring. We'll review some of the better names. The Red Flash and with Frankie the Friar will be hard to beat, but there's some good ones. Norfolk State has Spiro the Spartan, and what are these guys? Mount St. Mary's are like the Athenians or something, and I have no idea why or what that. Obviously I know Athena's a Greek god, but goddess, excuse me.
Yeah.
Sorry, I gotta make sure I'm right on that one.
Yikes, dodged a bullet.
Gonna catch hell on that one. Jesus. So we're just going to start with each region, and we're going to point out some interesting matchups. And Masshole over here is going to, give his opinion. So we're going to start in the South, where Auburn is the number 1 seed and is looking to make a run. They've struggled a little bit at the end of the year, but they've been number 1 almost, most of the year. And it looks like, if things go the way we think they're going to go, that they're going to get a second round matchup with Creighton. So, Masshole, do you want to talk about Creighton a little bit?
Well, my picks are incredibly biased, being from the hub, being where we think we run the world of sports. So I picked Creighton solely based on the fact that the Celtics made their number 1 draft pick out of Creighton last year. So that made it easy for the 8-9 matchup. I don't see them getting past the Tigers of Auburn, though.
Okay, so I see where this is going to be going. Okay, so because Creighton had had a Celtic that was drafted, that's why you're going with them.
That would be correct.
Okay, that is sound thinking. All right, another matchup that I see that you have there. Everyone, I said take the chalk, but sometimes you can't help yourself. You got to be selective, and you got to pick a few upsets, right, to have fun. And it looks like you've gone with Lipscomb to upset Iowa State, the 3 seed.
I have the Bison. The Cyclone, always an intimidating mascot, just because of the mass destruction it can do, but they have not been playing well down the stretch. And Lipscomb, it's fun to say. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, but let's go Bison.
And just quite frankly, I think just based on what we're wearing and is on my wall, I think we're all would be pretty happy to see the ketchup and mustard depart from this tournament sooner rather than later. So, Lipscomb Bison.
Lipscomb can do it.
Okay, they can do it. And again, we're not going to go through every round, but who do you got coming out of the South then in your final 4?
I got besides the Bison, I got chalk, but I have Michigan State coming out of it.
Michigan State, Big Ten champion. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's go Spotty.
Tom Izzo. All right. Okay, let's move to the West now. So Florida has got the number 1 seed. I've watched them lately. They look absolutely unbelievable lately. They've become sort of my personal pick to win the whole thing just because they've looked so good. So I'm sure I just mushed them for sure. And so I'm sure they're going to lose in the second round or something. But we do have a couple interesting matchups. I think a real popular upset pick is Drake. The 11 seed over the 6 seed Missouri. Now, why Masshole are they a popular
I have Drake
pick?
Too. Underrated movie if you haven't seen it. I believe it's still on Prime now. Is Champions featuring Woody Harrelson.
Oh, I haven't seen that one. What's that about?
It's awesome. He coaches a special needs basketball team and takes place in Des Moines, Iowa. And not to be a spoiler, but at the end of the movie, he ends up getting a job coaching the Drake Bulldogs. Drake is not a bad team either. Missouri's been up and down. So
well, Drake does lead the country
Bulldogs.
in defensive efficiency. They're number 1. They hold opponents to 58 points a game, which is number 1 in the country. They've won 30 games. I forgot to put that on my rules. Yeah, teams that win 30 games are pretty good. Even sometimes when they're in the smaller conferences.
So back in the 90s.
Yeah, and so that's always a good pick. Just looking at a record because you don't win 30 games being lousy. So, okay, so we're picking Drake based on a fictional movie about a coach who coaches special needs kids and then ends up the head coach at Drake.
Yeah, and an awesome actor too.
And an awesome okay, that again.
And again, the Iowa bias, right?
I mean, we're connecting the dots all over the place here. This
makes a lot of sense.
Makes a lot of sense.
Makes a lot of sense. I know Florida is absolutely awesome, but one thing really fun to do when you're out at a bar, especially, and dreaming, is when Maryland wins, you yell "Fair the Turtle." It'll get a reaction, and so I have Maryland upsetting Florida, despite my conventional knowledge, and I think the Turtle advances all the way to the Final Four, defeating our Drake Bulldogs in an Elite Eight matchup. So
All right.
Maryland.
I don't think people know though.
Coming up.
Subconsciously, we have a friend we call Turtle, and I think this is leaking into the thinking on this
I
pick
know.
because we would just want to see the Turtle
That pick
advance.
just got so much better.
and,
Wow.
and then I see there we have
We love you, Tom.
and then I see you have there highlighted St. John's, the Red Storm, who hasn't been in the tournament in like 25 years or hasn't won the Big East.
Great team, more
In
hometown
25
bias
years.
as a Celtics fan. A lot of hate for Rick Pitino. They're tough. I would like nothing more than to watch Woody Harrison beat him in the Elite Eight and sit him down because Kevin McHale is not walking through that door. Robert Parrish is not walking through that door. Larry Bird is not walking through that door, Rick. So you're out. The Bulldogs are going to oust you.
So pick a different Saint then. Okay. Now we go to the East. And where Duke is the number 1 seed, and by all accounts, probably the number 1 overall seed in the tournament. And it's got Cooper Flagg, and everyone is seeing how that ankle is going to heal. But Duke has a lot of depth. They are very, very good, and we're going to see who can take them down. But I see again here. I see highlighted here, Masshole, that you have a star there next to BYU. What is it about the BYU VCU game that you like?
We have more home Celtic bias. Alumni at BYU include Danny Ainge, probably the most well-known, lesser well-known, Fred Roberts and Greg Kite, who all have championship rings for the Boston Celtics. So, although it doesn't carry over to today's age, you've got to go with your favorite players of the past.
BYU produces Celtics essentially, and
They do.
And then because the Celtics have won 18 championships, which probably about 2 of them they were involved in, that carries over.
Greg Kite wears a ring.
Greg Kite does wear a ring.
More than Barkley or Karl Malone combined.
That's true. All right.
And a way better mustache.
And not to mention that BYU is just as a good team. Is a good team.
Yeah,
and
that helped the pick too. In a higher seeding.
Well, and they're in the East. Where's the East Regional? I don't know.
I believe it starts in Providence.
Okay, so Providence, that's good because BYU, there's no soaking in the desert, so starting out east will be better for BYU. Okay, so moving on here. You also, I see, have starred St. Mary's. So you've picked 2 Saints so far.
Yes.
Why? And you have St. Mary's in the Sweet 16. Holy cow!
My favorite Saint. Made a nice run last year. Very fundamental. Catch the ball, triple threat, pivot, best option. If you love fundamental basketball, you'll love watching St. Mary's.
Okay, so if you love boring basketball, then we will love St. Mary's.
They will bore Alabama to death. Pull the upset.
Okay.
Until they run into the potentially as boring Badgers. But we love the Big Ten.
So the over/under on dunks in this game is like a half.
Once we get to Wisconsin.
Well, it's half for St. Mary's. I'm sure for Alabama it'll be about 17. So
yes.
That'll be good. But interestingly enough, without going through every game, who do you have coming out of the East? I see you do have Duke losing, but who's going to get them?
Arizona.
Okay.
Duke's a little bit beat up, and
I am not familiar with any Celtics that came from Arizona. I'm sure you possibly could think of one.
My one connection I can think of as a Big Ten fan is we had a very nice transfer come back to Champaign out of Arizona. That would be my only loyalty to Arizona.
Okay, so we just like Arizona. So they're in the Final Four. So
yes.
They're in the East.
We do.
So we got the South. We got Sparty, and we got Maryland in the West, and now we got the East. Now the final bracket is out of the Midwest, which is where we are. So of course we know more about our home turf than anyone. So let's start with a hometown team. So Houston is the number 1 seed, and they're playing Georgia. I see here you you have Purdue in the Sweet 16.
If,
And walk me through Purdue. Although I'm almost afraid to hear the answer on this.
if you believe in luck, their point guard, who is the Big Ten Player of the Year, resembles an elf. Elves can be lucky. He's also a hell of a player.
Is he an angry elf?
Not after he won the Big Ten Player of the Year award, but I have seen him play live. He can ball. So I have them into the Sweet 16. I love their big man too, but I don't think they can get past Houston.
Okay.
So that's where the elves run ends.
Okay. And then, sorry. I also see you have highlighted, of course, we are in Illinois, so Illinois making a very deep run. You have a lot of faith. They've been a little inconsistent this year, but I'm dying to hear why they're going to go to the Elite Eight.
in all reality, for them to win 3 games in a row, if you watch them at all, is highly unlikely the way they shoot the 3 ball. But having a lovely wife and as an Iowa graduate, a son who's a lot smarter than me, who attends Illinois, a lot of my not very big paycheck goes there. So we're gonna ride them to the Elite Eight as far as we can. Sometimes the heart's bigger than the head.
So your wife and kid go to Illinois, and that is why they're going to go to the Elite Eight. Okay, so
Happy wife,
because if not,
happy
yes,
life.
you're going to be shamed into the garage, which is actually a little reverse psychology because I know that's where you love to do your hanging out. So,
It's my
um, but however, you do not have them in the Final Four. So who makes the Final Four out of the Midwest?
So we do have Houston, like you said. Chalk is hard to argue with.
Yeah,
a lot of the time.
So we got Michigan State, Maryland, Arizona, and Houston in the Final Four. Now you got Arizona beating Houston, and then you got Michigan State beating Maryland. And that leaves us with the Michigan State Arizona national championship game. So who's going to win?
Another fun thing to say at a bar when you've been enjoying the games all day is Spotty on. So
Sparty on.
Let's
Okay. Sparty on. So Sparty, is the choice. I don't know if any of this makes any sense to anyone, but we sure had fun. We sure had fun going through it and talking about it, and we certainly entertained ourselves. And so in the future, we will try to make sure that we are also entertaining to you.
As you get older, get used to entertaining
Yes.
yourself.
And so in the
It's an
future
important
we'll
skill.
try to entertain you. But we're gonna be back here if I can get Masshole to return, and hopefully we can do a round by round and see where we end up on our picks and see where the matchups lead us and see where the storylines lead us. But don't overthink it. Have fun. Do fill out your bracket. Tons of Coors Light. Just enjoy yourself. Doesn't need to make sense. Because guess what? You have as good a shot as anyone of picking these games. This is one of the single greatest sporting events for a reason. It's random and it's just a lot of fun. And this is like, I don't know, man. This is like Dude Christmas or something. Just, everyone's out acting like children and, skipping work and the next day at work and maybe the next weekend. But you know what? That's okay. I say everyone.
If you have some time, send your friend a holiday card. It's as good as any holiday. Happy March Madness, Scalzo.
Happy March Madness. All right. We'll get this out there as soon as possible so that you guys can take our information and use it for your own, because I know that's what you're going to do with it. Thank you.
Thank you.